For the game on Saturday. Now, there is a chance he can play. He said, quote, ultimately, I want to do what's best for the team. Gardner Minshew will be the quarterback in his place. Right now, the line is leaning for the Cowboys being favored at home by 4 points, according to Fox Bet Sports Book. I can't wait for this game. We've been waiting all season for it. Shady, do the Eagles need Jalen Hurts to beat the Cowboys?
I'm going to say yes. I really think so. One thing about having, like, a quarterback in the huddle, it's another thing to have an MVP in the huddle, right? When I played with Patrick Mahomes and he was in that huddle, we all believed, oh, okay, no matter what happens, if it gets tight, it gets dicey, we could depend on Patrick Mahomes. And the same thing with the Eagles. We haven't seen what the offense looks like without Jalen Hurts. This new offense. Not last year, I'm talking about this year. And I like Gardner. I think Gardner could play. I think he's a hell of a quarterback. I'm happy that he's our backup. He gives us a chance to win. But to get that guaranteed dub, come on now, because the Cowboys. You know what I mean? You got the holidays, Christmas. The narrative is built up for Jalen Hurts. This is his time to shine. So, yes, I truly think that having Jalen Hurts in that offense, and not only just the offense, the defense. You know you got a quarterback on the other side that's going to win this game, right? You can depend on him. Having that there, man, that piece, that energy, that vibe, that wave, that swag, having that not there, I don't know. My boys, we need him. We need
Shady,
one.
I don't think so,
We
man.
need one.
I don't think they need Jalen Hurts because, truth be told, when I look at the Eagles, you still roll up to the party with an A.J. Brown.
Okay.
You still roll up to the party with the Devontae Smith. You still roll up with a Jason Kelsey. You still roll up with a Lane Johnson. You still roll up with a Miles Sanders. Speaking of, Dallas Goedert is allegedly and supposed to be back. You still roll up with Darius Slay. You still roll up with Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. You still roll up with Jordan Davis. You still roll up with Bradbury. You still roll up with T.J. Edwards. You still roll up with 7, 8 Pro Bowl caliber
The homies is ready.
They all ready. So, like, in all honesty, not just in this game, I will speak even futuristic, but clearly in this game, I think the Eagles can roll up without number one and be just fine because of the squad they are rolling up with. Where do you stand, Dave?
You're absolutely right. We saw the Cowboys do this already, and they're not as good of a team as the Eagles. Let's do Jalen Hurts the credit that we didn't give Dak Prescott. They're a lesser team without Jalen Hurts. You know, they got the best offense in the league right now. It's rolling in the run game. He makes plays in the passing game. Could they still win this game with the 16th best offense in the league? Of course they could. They got the best pass defense in the league. They got 15 interceptions. That sounds like it could come in handy against a guy that throws them, right?
He does that.
Maybe. They have the best turnover differential in the NFL. They got the best offensive line in the NFL. Their run game is amazing. Gardner Minshew is actually a pretty mobile guy himself. I mean, he's not Jalen Hurts, but, I mean, he had 300-400 rushing yards as a rookie. Like, he can move the pocket. He can do the things you need him to do. The Eagles are not as good without Jalen Hurts. You see what I did there? But they can win with their backup quarterback.
You just kept it real.
Exactly.
Something I do every day.
They don't need him to win this game. It would be nice to have him, though.
Yes, it would be nice to have him. I think they'll be just fine without Jalen Hurts for this particular game. Just fine is 2 words that you just said, and I would steal them for this game. I don't think moving forward they can do what they've been doing without Jalen Hurts, which is an idea that has been floated, Shady. You weren't here for that, but the notion is out there that this team would be as good with Gardner Minshew as the quarterback as they are with Jalen Hurts. I'll let you digest that. So for this game against a divisional opponent who can't get a win against Jacksonville, I think they can do it for one game. For one game. Because your backup quarterback should be able to come in
He's not bad.
and be not as good as your starter, but not awful. Don't turn the ball over. Don't make any mistakes. Don't be a hero. And you can win the game. So to me, it's less about the Eagles and more about the opponent.
Let me push the ball forward then a little bit further. It's been stated several times that the Eagles are significantly better than everybody else in the NFC, right? I think the Eagles are.
The league.
Great.
I said the league.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So if they're significantly better than everybody else in the league, do you not think, because I think that I would pick the Eagles even without Jalen Hurts.
Right.
I would pick the Eagles to beat everybody in the NFC except the 49ers. And with the 49ers, even with Jalen Hurts, y'all know how confident I am in the Niners as well. How you have your doubts about Jalen Hurts and his health when he comes back, because he will, because he got that dog in him. Do the Eagles even need a healthy Jalen Hurts, or are the Eagles just that good? Because if they're better than everybody else, are they not just that good?
This is why we need Jalen, right? Because all the reasons that he said, he talked about how they have they're great against the pass on defense, they get after the quarterback, et cetera, et cetera. But what happens when they don't play up to that level? That's football. It happens. People have bad days. A dude like Jalen Hurts can overcome that. Let's say Slay, I think he's locked down, but he had games where he wasn't locked down. It happens in football. Guys turn the ball over. Guys drop passes, they catch passes and they drop them, they fumble it, whatever it is. Jalen Hurts is that good where he can make the difference. Because in football, things happen. And a game like the Colts, who's not that good, right? We're not that good of a team, but they had us in a slump where we couldn't do nothing. We should have lost that game. A guy like Jalen Hurts won that game for us. That's why we need him, because when games get tight and our defense is not playing great like they're supposed to, or the wide receivers that we have is not playing well like they're supposed to, you need a guy like that that can make it. Doesn't matter. I'm going to get the win for us because I'm that good.
Have the Eagles, though, shown you, Joy, any sign of weakness all year to say, you know what, they will have that down game? Jalen Hurts had that down game last week, but the Eagles in their entirety, they haven't really shown me flaws as a team to make me worry and make me scared about needing Jalen Hurts to click on all cylinders, or Jalen Hurts this game, the next game. Clearly, you don't need him for Week 18 if you've gotten that far.
Now, look, obviously, I think that Jalen Hurts is the MVP. And not that many other people think that. But again, what happened last week? Jalen was bad, and then Jalen got it together and then rushed for 3 touchdowns, and then they won the game. Gardner Minshew is not coming back from a game the way that Jalen Hurts started that game. Against the Colts, they won because of Jalen. They weren't playing well. They overcame it. Washington, everyone played bad, and it was a disaster, and that was their one loss. One of the season. So if you don't think that Jalen Hurts is that important to the wins and the losses, which I absolutely do, then they'll be fine. But I think for one game, again, against the Cowboys, a team that they see twice a year, like divisional games are just different. They know each other. The personnel knows each other. They've already played once. Like, they can scheme different things. You play differently against divisional opponents, which is why I think they'll be fine for one game. But this is not a situation where they're going to be as good as they are with Jalen Hurts. Jalen plays the most important position. Jalen is the leader. Jalen is the one who has overcome when they weren't playing well, to Shady's point.
Dave, here's what I'm fascinated by. Answer this question. Take us home. Say Gardner Minshew is the starter. You know the NFC very, very, very well. Who would you pick over the Eagles, even if they had Gardner Minshew as their starter? Because I was thinking about it in the dressing room coming up before the show. I'd still pick the Eagles over the Vikings. I'd still pick the Eagles over the Cowboys. I'd pick them over the Commanders, the Giants. I'd pick them over the Bucks. I'd still pick them over the Lions. Who, without Jalen Hurts, you're saying, you know what? Nah, now I'm going with this other squad.
That's a really good question, and I think I'm with you. Like, I would pick the Eagles to beat all of those teams with Gardner Minshew as their quarterback, probably. But it's football, right? I mean, why do we do this? And I think your margin for error just gets slimmer when you don't have your starting quarterback. Like, again, the Eagles' offense is fine with Gardner Minshew, but it's amazing with Jalen Hurts. That makes a difference. What happens when a ball clangs off your receiver's hands and the other team gets it? What happens if, for some reason, you fumble the snap because Gardner Minshew hasn't been in there all season, and now Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson are on your 35-yard line with a chance to take a 10-0 lead in the second quarter? Can you come back from a 10-0 lead with Gardner Minshew? So I think I would probably pick the Eagles to beat everybody but the Niners, even with Gardner Minshew. But the playoffs, man, I mean, you got to win at least 3 games to win a trophy. And things are going to go wrong, and your margin of error gets slimmer. So it's not that they can't do it, but you got to admit you don't feel as good about it.
Of course not.
Y'all make it seem so easy, like you could just put anybody back there. Like, why, I'm just trying to get on the same page. Why do you guys think that?
I think that the Eagles are like that. I think
they're good.
I think the Eagles.
That's the problem why a lot of people don't want to give him the MVP for these type of things. It ain't that easy to just put anybody back there.
I don't think it is, and I'm glad we will get to find out. But I think that the Eagles, you still roll up with that whole defense.
That's cool.
And that defense is wild, leads the league in sacks, might set a sack record in the NFL.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, like I said it. Like, I seen games where they didn't play up to par, right? And then Jalen had to carry him. So my thing, and then also in the running game, they talk about how we got a good offensive line and the running ball so well. He does a lot of that. Even when he's not running the ball, just the threat of him running the ball, right? I used to play with Michael Vick, and I love playing with Vick because I'm going to get so many one-on-one opportunities because his ability to be able to run holds the backside defensive ends on the run reads. It holds the linebackers. So a dude like me, and I was fast, and Miles Sanders is faster than I am. If the backside, or if the linebacker has to get me, or the backside safety has to come over and get me, I can outrun him because that quarterback can hold these linebackers and defenses' responsibilities. It's not that easy just to put a quarterback back there and continue to roll like the Eagles' offense is doing. That's one thing I'm not feeling, but what y'all saying.
I don't think I said that. I wish I could get people to let go of the idea. I'm not going to say the word easy. It's a little bit insulting. How about this? Acho and I talked about this. Playing quarterback for the Eagles right now is probably one of the 2 most favorable situations in the league. That's just, you can't argue with that.